So what's up, Nino? How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. Not too bad. Got a rally coming up tonight.
Okay.
Well, today at 1 p.m. So like in 2 hours, and then another one at 6 p.m. It's
Cool.
it's not bad.
Listen, I just want to see what where your head's at with this whole mayorship thing. You know, I mean, I know I'm just like one vote. I'm not saying you have to earn my vote or anything. Just kind of trying to understand what your plans are.
My plans are to fix the LSPD.
Okay.
That's probably the most relevant to you. I think the biggest. There's a lot of cops within the LSPD that, if I'm going to be honest with you, should not be employed.
Okay.
I think they're driving the culture towards one that is very formulaic and not one that is.
Jesus Christ. You see, the thing is, if I could catch your car, I would probably arrest you for reckless driving, but you'd probably just go in a straight line and leave me. So
no, I don't go in straight lines. It's fucked.
yeah, okay. But please slow the fuck down. You could have killed somebody.
I'm sorry.
I think there's a lot of mentality in the PD that's focused on the like formula instead of the like the human aspect of things. And I think inherently there's like three factors. All right, Denzel. It's not like I don't buy into this like cop versus crim, like you know, Soze word logic, which I think is driving a big wedge between both sides. Right? You have some cops that look at everyone as a fucking criminal, and then you have some criminals whose only function in life is to kill cops.
Right.
But I think the loudest minorities on both ends of the spectrum are kind of just turning Los Santos into a fucking cesspool. Three things. One, legislation has been dog shit. Number two, I think on the PD side of things, I think there's some cops that don't have functioning brains, and they think they're doing a good job because they can, like, you know,
They can write a report. That's
well, not write a report and still arrest an individual.
Right.
And I think, and then number three is unnecessary overt violence as a solution to like outcry, you know.
So with me, once again, I've heard about, like, I've seen a couple people promoting your campaign, and I was like, okay, let me try to have a conversation. Well, you actually came up to me, have a conversation with me first, to be honest with you, at the garage, that little parking lot across from that situation.
Yeah,
that was the first time. Yeah, we actually, but me, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. People that are criminals, okay, I'm talking about like actively doing crime, I don't respect whatsoever. I feel like it's my job to stop them, whatever means necessary, without going beyond the limits of excessive force. Correct?
Okay. I've transparently, I've heard a lot of negative things about your ability to pit. Is there truth to that?
You know what's crazy? All my pits have been under the SOP guidelines speed limit, and people still find a way to complain about that. So I mean, I don't know what else to say.
That's why I'm asking you directly, right? Like, there's always two sides of the story.
I think I had one fuck up pit, and that was when there was an individual. They told us to shoot at him. I said, instead of shooting at him, I'm gonna pit him. Yeah, we were in an overpass, so they went flying off the overpass, right? It's one of those. Like, that, I think that was my one fuck up pit, to be honest with you. Other than that, yeah, I don't think. Do I pit people under the speed limit that is within our SOPs? Yes. Do they eject sometimes? Yes, it's the truth. They do eject. But you know, I follow the guidelines that were given, and that's basically it.
I got you. All right. I'm not gonna pretend I know one way or another. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah, but I'm just about police work, man. That's all I'm about.
So I'm gonna paint you a story. One
Okay.
cop is already in my fucking crosshairs, and I'm gonna explain where I think there's an issue on the PD side. Number one, some of your officers have treated me like a criminal off the get because I,
Do you even have a record?
no, I've haven't even attempted to commit a crime and get away with it.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who used to sell guns like 15 years ago. Got away
Okay.
with it for 3 years. You know, like I have a history, but these cunts don't know my history. You feel me?
Right.
But the nasty, disgusting, and frankly gross attitude. Some of those people just gotta go.
Yeah.
I think that they don't have what it takes to even be employed anywhere other than sanitation. So I'm just gonna say that straight. There's no. I think that they shouldn't even pass the hiring process. And you know, I think unfortunately part of the past formula, speculation here, was they're a body, right? And I think their evaluation is probably based on the merits of an arrest or how much they can suck dick. You know what I mean?
True.
But I'm not about that life.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example, right? And here's the reason for like the pullback, right? Would you agree that there's been escalation on both sides of the fence?
Yes.
Who do you think has the most amount of power? Do you think both sides need to in turn pull back?
Okay. Pull. I think. You see,
Let me give you an example of what I mean by pullback.
okay.
Yesterday, Marlo Stanfield
Yeah.
was pulled over for a traffic infraction. He was identified prior to him even saying a word. Following this, he was asked for an ID. He produced it, Marlo Stanfield. He was asked to take off a mask. Now, there was a dispute over the mask, whether or not he had to take it off. Officer was well within his rights. The officer decided that he was going to charge him with disobeying a police officer for not taking the mask off. Fine, right? Marlo steps out of the vehicle. He's thrown in cuffs. Mask is not removed. In fact, it's not removed till after he's fingerprinted down at Mission Row.
So the whole time, the whole point of the arrest was for him to take his mask off and then
Yes.
take his mask off.
And when I asked this officer, why didn't you take the mask off? He's like, well, I didn't have to. He was already under arrest. I could do it afterwards. I'm like, okay, well, now your entire justification for the disobeying is out the fucking
It's
window.
out the window. Yeah, yeah.
And
it's
this
gone.
fucking brain dead cunt had the audacity to be like, well, I don't have to do it that way
Give me
legally.
1 second. My
Yeah.
lead is calling me. Give me a second. Yeah, what's up, Frost? I'm not gonna push her through. I'm not gonna push her through right now. No, it's not that she's not good enough. I feel like she's P&T right now, and she has way too much focus on something else. I need her. I need people that are focused on tack right now. I can't have people dealing with all this shit. All right. Okay. All right. Well, she has to improve because between me and you, that officer moving people during the shootout was her. So you get what I'm saying. Like, so I pay attention to these things. That's why
I'm
if that's
soaking
the
in.
case, I'm willing to give another look. But
Oh, Nino's
I
very
need
gonna
to
be
see improvement
very
during those shootouts.
staunch on that opinion. You'll see. It's an attitude thing. In real life, those are the kind of cops I hope get fucking shot up in an alley.
I can have a conversation with her for sure, but I definitely
Go down
do
the
need to
wrong
see improvement.
neighborhood type shit.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, she is. She is. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Understood. Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with her. I'm my fault for getting off the phone too early. I'm having a quick little meeting real quick. Appreciate you again, sir. Yeah, I won't forget her. I won't. Yeah, I won't forget her. I won't forget her. All right, all right, brother. All right. I'm sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah, you. So yeah, the mask, and then okay, so.
And I tried to have an honest conversation. Yeah, it was Ventura.
Really?
Yeah. Now, the thing that was frustrating about it was I tried to explain to him, like, listen, this is going to go well in court because you're well within your rights to charge him with disobeying a police officer if you ask him to take off the mask. And,
right.
You know, Marlo was like, well, they don't have to do it. They got the idea. I'm like, no, because if it escalated into, like, you know, he sped off, there was a shooting, him being able to visually identify you is important.
Right.
So he's well within his rights. But the moment Marlo agreeably stepped out of the vehicle, allowed himself to be detained, there was an opportunity to take his mask off. The whole premise of why he was told the mask needed to come off didn't happen, right? Now it's drawing into question, like, what was the intent of that arrest to begin with? It's like a bad faith fucking arrest at that stage, right? And not to mention, there is opportunity for that police officer upon that suspect being agreeable to not, you know, lean on, well, I can do this, right?
Right.
And I tried to explain to him, like, you do understand that in situations like this that escalate, right? There needs to be some level of, like, understanding that if people are willing to cooperate, they need to be given a break. Otherwise, they are going to be psychologically trained not to ever cooperate. Right. It's what turns someone like Marlo. I don't know Marlo's background, right? But
I've met Marlo every once in a while.
It's you replace him with another name in similar circumstance, similar record, that is pushed more towards non-cooperation, and that's not a good thing, especially when these kind of things can lead to docket filing and civil lawsuits, and that's not good for the city. This guy couldn't fucking process shit. Like it sounded like I was talking to a fucking well, the guy sounded like he was Soze word. I'm gonna be straight. So shit like that isn't gonna fly.
Yeah, it's so are you continuing the what's that plan that Max had in the continuity? Is that what? Yeah, the continuity.
PCP. There's a lot of things that are like currently unknown. I'm gonna be setting policy for the police department by the chief of police. I'm not gonna put any kind of quota program in place. I don't have no plans to become the commissioner. The police department has significantly more understanding how to, I think, run the department, but policy and running a department are two separate things. Does that make sense? The distinction?
Policy and running, policies,
Like,
I know what you mean.
How you do your traffic stop, how do you judge, this versus that. The problem is, though, LSPD right now is in shambles, especially when compared to BCSO. Now, don't get me wrong. I think, regardless of how you feel about Barrick, The man was
I
stripped
love
of his
Barrick.
power.
Really? What do you mean? I love Barrick.
Really?
I love Barrick. Barrick is the brother. What?
I think I like him too. I've heard a lot of negative things about him. Like I said, right?
From
don't
police
have
officers or from like civilians?
officers. You got to understand. There's look. You got to keep in mind, Dan. You've been in this department, right? I have to make my assessment based on individual officers and what they say, and I'll give you an example.
Right.
I've been trying to reach out to. I've been speaking to a series of officers, roughly 15, right? Different circles, different shifts, etc. And I recognize what they tell me is going to be their truth, right? I also recognize that they may be politically posturing themselves, right? Like, in other words, like if Nino becomes mayor, I want to put myself in good standing with him because, you know, maybe they want chief or maybe, you know, whatever it might be. I recognize
let me Nino, just clear cut, brother. My end goal within the police department is sergeant, maybe lieutenant. I don't want to go I do not want to touch high command at all.
Okay. Yeah. No,
just want to clear that up. Clear that up right now.
Yep.
But I do understand. See, the thing is, let me say, I'm gonna speak my shit because I feel like this is the one time I can speak my shit.
Speak your shit.
The fact that people are saying Barrick is not a good chief, are people that are power hungry and looking for that power vacuum to happen when the new mayors get appointed. So people will just like, it's just a bunch of power hungry people that don't that can't do their job well, okay, and would rather look into every little thing that some random criminal says about an officer than looking into a murder of my best friend and other officers, aka Rooker, that was murdered on Jamestown Street by Hydra. No one would look into those, but God forbids, right? Those power hungry fucks. Here's somebody, oh my God, this officer cursed at me and flicked me off. There's going to be all hands on deck. The U.S. like the U.S. government's gonna come in. They're gonna ask NATO to come help them.
Those people need to be fired if they're over escalating. You are police officers, right? De-escalation is inherently. You're telling me people are calling in backup for middle finger?
They're looking in more towards the police officer from a complaint from a civilian than looking into an actual murder. It's all hands on deck when there's a complaint for you know, as soon as there's a complaint about an officer, there's all hands on deck. Every unit, it's goddamn near a 79's call. Fuck a 78. It's everybody. It's going out, announcements in the email. It's everywhere. But an officer gets murdered, no one bats a fucking eye. That's it.
Really? Okay. I mean, obviously, well, part of that is because the Civilian Oversight Committee had its dick cut off.
Yeah. Can you ping 781? I'll come pick you up, brother, so we can talk. All right, I'll meet you there.
All right, yeah. So, look, I recognize that Barrick had his power stripped the moment that quota system went up, and then, you know, Commissioner came in place. At that point, you know, I don't think you're going to ever be able to stop all crime. I recognize the numbers are complete dog shit. I also recognize that LSPD is made up of a lot of leftovers. You know what I mean? Not to say everyone's a leftover, but you're going to have leftovers, right? Like people that didn't get picked up by BCSO, and now you're stuck with them. And so I'm probably going to have LSPD remain as is for like 3 weeks is my current spitball number, because I need to see how well everyone operates under a new policy and then make a judgment call, because I can't know what's, you know, up and what's down, right? I'm not in the department. I also like I said, people could be glazing me. You can't, or they could be honest. I have no way to know. The thing that resonates with me the most is those that have been open and honest and can do solution finding, right? If you can't do that, you shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't be worth more than maybe a senior.
Yep, I agree. Nino, you want me to drop you off anywhere? I'm so sorry. I have to go talk to a lawyer real quick.
Give me a sec. Could you go here? Could you drop me off there? That's where my bike is.
No worries.
So,
yeah, I'm sorry for cutting it short.
No, it's,
but yeah,
it's
man,
good.
It's kind of, I wish other candidates were doing this. You're the only one that at least tried or remembered to have a conversation with me. But yeah, I do appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, just be prepared. I think there's gonna be a lot of people very angry with some of the very staunch things I'm gonna be doing, but I don't really give a fuck unless you can give me a logical reason not to do something.
Brother, it's the job. It's the job. What is you are employed? Like at the end of the day, like if you become mayor, you're my boss. Without it, technically you are my. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like it's the job. It's simple. Just shut the fuck up and do it. I'm sorry. I have a very
that's
military mindset.
No, that's what's necessary right now, to be honest. None of this fucking like snowflake bullshit. My feelings, suck my fucking dick.
Exactly.
All right,
so
easy. Yep, right here. All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Take care, brother.
You take care.